Namaste. Welcome to Youth TV Show.
Menstruation is also known by terms like menses, period, and menstrual cycle. Menstruation is a natural cyclical phenomenon when the blood from uterus comes out of vagina. Most girls get their first period after the onset of puberty, which lies between the age of 12 to 15 years. A delay in onset of menstruation is not usually a matter of concern, as many girls get their first period within the age of 16 years. Menstruation is controlled by hormones, which are also known as the chemical messengers of our body. Menstruation is controlled by hormones called estrogen and progesterone. Bleeding days are usually 5 to 7 days, and the menstrual cycle is 28 days on average. However, it varies from 24 to 35 days. Women have 2 ovaries in their reproductive system, and each one holds a bunch of eggs known as ova. During menstrual cycles, the hormones works to mature these eggs inside our body. When the mature eggs fuses with the sperm released after the sexual intercourse between a male and a female, the eggs get fertilized and hence the lady gets pregnant. If the unprotected sexual intercourse does not occur and the lady does not get pregnant, the lining of the uterus ruptures and sheds along with blood, tissues, and the unfertilized ovum, and hence we get our period.
Is it possible to conceive during menstruation?
Well, ovulation is not predictable every time. It can happen early or it can happen late. So theoretically, it's possible for someone to get pregnant in any point of time during their menstruation.
What are some menstrual products that can be used?
There are plenty of options available in the market, and you can use it according to your preference and according to your convenience. Sanitary napkins, tampons, menstrual cups, and period panties. So these are the menstrual products which are easily available.
Amongst these, which are the eco-friendly products, if I may ask?
There are plenty of options which are alternative to the disposable sanitary pads. Menstrual cups, reusable pads, and period panties.
How often should I be changing these menstrual products?
Sanitary pads should be changed every 4 to 6 hours of use, but it should be changed frequently if it is soaked. While talking about the menstrual cups, it can be used a bit longer.
How can I manage menstrual discomfort?
There are various ways which can be adapted to relieve the menstrual discomfort. So it can be like staying hydrated, applying the heat patches over the pain area, and also you can take the over-the-counter medicines which can relieve your menstrual discomfort.
Would you advise exercise during this period?
Light exercises are beneficial as it elevates the mood and it helps to relieve the cramps. Light walk, light yogas can be done during menstruation.
Is it normal to experience mood changes during menstruation?
It is quite normal to experience irritabilities and mood swings. It is because of the hormonal fluctuation in our body during the menstrual cycle.
Could you please enlighten me about premenstrual syndrome?
Premenstrual syndrome are a group of symptoms which starts prior to the period, and it includes some physical and emotional symptoms.
Reproductive health encompasses various fields like safe pregnancy and childbirth. It also includes sexual and reproductive rights, adolescent health, infertility management, gender inequality, and access to safe abortion services as well. Reproductive health is not only a matter of individual well-being, but it also has various implications like public health, social development, and overall gender equality. Efforts to promote reproductive health include collaborations between various healthcare systems, government, non-governmental organizations, and communities to ensure access to information and services so that people can make informed decisions about their reproductive lives.
Can you please elaborate about what is contraceptive?
Contraceptives are any methods or devices that can be used to prevent pregnancies. It can range from birth control pills to condoms to intrauterine devices and many more.
Can you tell us about safe abortion?
It is the termination of pregnancy under medical supervision.
What is maternal health care?
So maternal health care is a comprehensive term that encompasses medical health services, prenatal care, care during pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum care to ensure the well-being of both mother and child.
So do you think there is a relationship of gender equality in reproductive health?
Gender equality basically enables individuals to gain equal access to reproductive health care services, education, and decision making power, so that ultimately healthier communities and healthier families can be formed.
So if an individual has a poor reproductive health, so can you tell us the risk associated with it?
Yeah, poor reproductive health is associated with multiple risk factors. It can lead to unwanted pregnancies, it can lead to unintended abortions. Similarly, it can cause maternal as well as infant mortality, and also cause sexually transmitted infections or diseases.
Hey there, let's talk about something that might interest you as you are growing up: dating and intimacy. Dating is when two people involve themselves to get to know each other. It's a way to explore if you share a common understanding with each other or not. It's not always about going out. It is also about sharing your thoughts, ideas, and your feelings with someone. Now let's dive into intimacy. Intimacy is a bit more than just physical ones. It is also about sharing your thoughts, ideas, your dreams with the person you care and you trust about. Intimacy can be developed in different types of relationships, not just the romantic ones. But the most important thing is that you should feel safe and comfortable with the person you are with. Physical intimacy is when two people involve physically in a way that feels comfortable to both of them. It can be in a form of holding hands, hugging, or kissing. But the most important thing while having a physical intimacy, especially the sexual one, requires consent. Consent is when two people willingly agrees to do an activity, and one can always terminate their consent at any point. Communication, trust, and respect for the boundaries are crucial to ensure that your partner feels comfortable and safe while having any form of physical intimacy. Ultimately, this physical intimacy will lead to emotional bonding between the partners, and it will enhance the overall relationship as well. However, the level of intimacy an individual is comfortable with varies greatly. So, it's essential to communicate with a partner so that you can find a common ground of understanding and trust. Remember that both dating and intimacy are personal and should happen whenever you are ready. As you grow and learn, you'll understand what dating and intimacy means to you and how you want to navigate it in a meaningful and respectful way.
Is it necessary to have physical intimacy in all relationships?
Well, it depends on the partner and their needs. Some people are comfortable with touches and kisses, while some people are even comfortable with having sex, but it depends on their needs and their wants.
And when do you know that you are ready to invest yourself physically in a relationship?
If you are physically, mentally, and emotionally ready to have a relationship, then only think about having a physical relationship.
And what if you don't want to rush into physical intimacy but don't want to hurt your partner either?
There should always be communication between the partners. Ask your partner what do they want and express your needs freely to them. And you can always stop your partner at the middle of an intimacy if you feel uncomfortable or you do not want to continue by saying no. No means no, whether at the beginning, the middle, or at the end. Even a hesitation to say yes means no. And if your partner does not understand this simple thing and does not stop himself, I don't think that's a relationship you should be investing into.
And what if he or she does not stop at all?
It's a rape. Be it a friend, boyfriend, or your husband. Nobody has a right on your body until and unless you give consent to do so.
Is it really necessary to have sex in relationship?
No, not at all. Sex does not define the validity of relationship. Some people even have casual sex, while some people believe in sex after marriage. So it depends on you. But if you are having a sexual intercourse, then remember to use contraceptive as well as take consent from the partner.
Is it always safe to have long-term contraceptives?
These long-term contraceptives are usually used by the women who are married or who frequently have intercourse. So they are relatively safe, but they also cause hormonal imbalances, which may lead to irregular bleedings and abdominal cramps, acne, breast tenderness. So while having an oral contraceptive, it might even lead to gastrointestinal upset like nausea and vomiting. Norplant and implant, they will require small surgical procedure while inserting, so it might be a little bit painful.
Can you please enlighten me more on emergency postcoital pills or eye pills?
Okay, these are the emergency pills and should be used only during the time of emergencies like unprotected intercourse, tearing of condom, rape, or if you have missed oral contraceptives. If you use it for a longer period of time, it might lead to heavy bleeding during the menstruation, irregular periods, stomach cramps, and it might even lead to infertility. So we should be very cautious while taking this emergency pill. And if you have to take emergency pill, then you should take 1 tablet of I-pill within 72 hours of unprotected intercourse, and it should be repeated after 12 hours.
Dating refers to the process of two individuals engaging in social activities, spending time together, and getting to know about each other with intention of exploring romantic and or long-term partnership. Dating can vary in terms of commitment level and formality. It can vary from casual dating, where individuals can get to know without any specific goal, to very serious dating with intention of establishing committed relationship. Dating can vary across society, community and personal preferences. People have different expectation and intention when it comes to dating. So clear communication and the mutual respect are the key things to navigating through dating process successfully.
What should one do if the partner is not respectful of my boundaries?
If someone's partner doesn't respect their boundaries, then there are two ways. The first one is they can communicate openly with their partners about the situation, and the second one is if they can rethink about their relationship.
And I have heard many people break up in their relationship or get rejected in the relationship. How do you think should one handle the rejection in any relationship?
So first of all, you need to know that the rejection is normal in the process of dating. So it does not reflect your value as a person. So take the dating process as opportunity to learn and grow.
What is the role of communication in the context of dating?
Communication is crucial in relationship. It helps to build understanding, prevent misunderstanding, and it also helps to establish foundation of trust and emotional connections.
How can one navigate through the challenges of dating in this digital world?
Be authentical in your online dating profile and take caution when you need to share your personal information. And the third one is prioritize meeting in person if you are thinking for deeper relationship.
Self-esteem is the understanding and overall opinion an individual holds of themselves. It includes feelings of self-respect, self-worth, and self-acceptance. It influences how a person perceives their abilities. It's a fundamental aspect of psychological well-being as it affects various parts of a person's life.
Since self-esteem is not a fixed trait, how can low self-esteem impact on someone's life?
Well, low self-esteem can impact somebody's life in that they can have negative self-talk. They feel like they're inadequate and they start having doubts. This can hinder personal relations, be it with your other half, be it with your family or your friends, and this can take a mental toll.
So we just talk about low self-esteems. What are the signs of healthy self-esteems?
Well, a person with high self-esteem is somebody who's confident, somebody who accepts and values themselves as they are. In this modern world, there is so much of criticism. So it's somebody who is able to take it with a pinch of salt and maintain a positive attitude when facing challenges in their lives.
Is there a way to improve our self-esteem?
Yes, definitely there are many ways to improve your self-esteem. There are little things that you can do, such as practice positive affirmations to yourself. You can have like a set of goals that you feel like they're achievable and play to your strengths. It's also important to have self-compassion, and also you can surround yourself with people who love you so that boosts your self-confidence. Challenging negative self-talk is also very important.
As we spend a lot of time on social media nowadays, do you think it has an impact?
It is important to remember social media is not a true representation of reality. You know, we compare ourselves with models, but we need to remember that even these models, some of them are genetically blessed, and the others, they have so many stylists, they do touch-up, they have Photoshop to edit it, and we look at that and then we compare ourselves, which is not the best.
But what about criticisms? How do I handle them?
Well, you need to remember that no one is perfect. In this day and age, everyone has an opinion and people can criticize you, but how you take it is the most important thing. We can take criticism as a constructive way and try to improve and learn from it. And negative criticism, yes, it can cause us pain. But remember that we are family and friends, so seek advice from them because they are the ones who know us best. But in the end, it is up to you to judge how you take it and move forward with it.
Do you think that self-esteem can be changed?
Definitely. As I mentioned before, self-esteem is not a fixed rate. It keeps on changing according to a person's experiences. We go through highs and lows in our life, so it changes with that. I think what is most important is the efforts that we make to change it.
Well, if a person has low self-esteem, when do I have to consult with the professionals like doctors?
Yes. When your low self-esteem is starting to affect your daily life, your personal life, and it hinders your growth, when you start feeling anxious or depressed and you're not really able to take and seek help from your family and friends, as I mentioned before, then it is advisable to seek professional help. They can be in the form of counselors or therapists, because these people know how to guide you and support you better.
Did you know about menstruation when you had your first period?
The women in our village, our mothers, sisters, used to have their periods. I had my first period when I was 14 years old. I knew quite a bit about menstruation, as we had 6 to 7 sisters in our community and they had their periods before me. They used to stay isolated in cowsheds during their periods, despite having houses. The rest of the girls in my community used to go give them company. We also stayed with them throughout the night. So that is how I came to know about it.
I didn't know about menstruation until the first time I had it myself. We used to go to the nearby fields as we didn't have toilets. And one day I saw blood and I got scared. I went home and told my mother about what had happened. It was then she told me that I had gotten my periods. That is how I found about periods.
I got my first period at the age of 13. We had many sisters, and I knew a little about menstruation as my sisters had their periods before me. One day I went to a fair in my village. I used to wear dresses then. I found that my dress was stained with blood, so I got scared. This happened to me during the afternoon, 12:01 p.m. I told my mother that I had blood stains all over my dress. She told me I had my periods and it was nothing to be scared of. We didn't have panties then. We used cloths. We tied a cloth around our waist and tucked in folded cotton clothes to hold the bleeding.
I knew what periods were as we were taught about it in school. And a sister who lived in my house also had her periods before me, so I did know about it.
What product did you use when you had your first period?
During my time, using a cloth was very common. We used to tear our mother's cotton sari into pieces and fold them and use them to manage our period flow.
We used cloths, that was the common practice. Using panties was not common as it was not much available in the market. So we used cotton cloths, folded them and used them during our periods.
I also used cotton cloth. I use sanitary napkins now.
When I had my periods for the first time, my mother gave me a cloth pad.
What product do you find comfortable to use during your periods?
We use cotton cloth since the very beginning, so we got used to it. I also use sanitary pads. I use medical sanitary pads if I have to go out during the day. But when I am at home or during other times, I prefer using the reusable pad.
I use pads. I buy them from a medical shop nearby. I am not able to use the reusable pad as I have heavy flow. I have to change the disposable pad every 2 to 3 hours. If I keep them for a long period, I develop irritation and rashes.
What is your opinion regarding tampons and menstrual cups?
I have heard about the menstrual cups and also seen them, but I haven't used them yet. I feel scared.
I don't know much about them, but when I watched videos, I have heard that they are good, but I have never tried it by myself.
What are the restrictions you have during menstruation?
We know that menstruation is a normal process and nothing bad. But we have some customs we follow since generations. When I live alone, I cook even when I'm on my period. But when my husband or in-laws are at home, I don't cook or go to the temple during my period.
We don't have such a culture. We knew in our community had such restrictions, but we never had them. We were not allowed to go to the temple, and that was all. We could go to the kitchen and do everything else normally.
No, we do not have such restrictions regarding cooking. But we are not allowed to go to the temple. The rest is fine.
There are no restrictions. We can't enter the temple and that's all.
Yes, we have certain restrictions at home. When we have parents or in-laws at home, we follow the restrictions. But when they are not here, I do cook because it is not possible to avoid doing it. However, I do not go to the temple. Do you take medicines to postpone your menstruation in case of festivals or special occasions?
I haven't tried doing that till date because I have seen how it affects others. So no matter what, I will not take medicine to postpone my periods. I will only take medicines that the doctor recommends me to.
I have taken medicine to postpone my period once. But then I found out it affects my health.
I have tried it once during Tihar, but that was a long time ago. Even if I have my periods during festivals, I still celebrate them. My mother allows me to. Do you take medicines for stomach cramps or backache during your periods? I don't take medicines. I try to avoid medicine as long as it is bearable. It isn't usually unbearable.
My stomach aches. I use heat patches to relieve the pain and cramps. I don't take medicines.
You are the founder of an organization called Women to Be, a very symbolic, beautiful name for an organization that helps a beautiful transition from girlhood to womanhood. So can you tell us something more about the works that Women to Be does and the idea behind its inception?
Well, I founded Women to Be in 2014. And what we do, we're all volunteers, by the way, so we fabricate and distribute underwear and washable sanitary pads to girls around the world. We've been 4 times now. This is my 4th visit to Nepal, Zambia, Mexico, Guatemala, and the Native American populations and communities. We also provide a reproductive health class, especially here in Nepal. Talking about sexual intercourse or menstrual cycles is a very sensitive topic. It often doesn't come up. We just put it out there. We teach girls how their bodies work, what to expect in marital intimacy, how to talk to parents about their menstrual cycles. And we also teach boys, which initially we were only teaching the girls, but now we're also taking on boys. We just teach anybody and everybody who's interested in learning more about how their bodies work. We've got tremendous, exceptional partners here in Nepal who have helped us establish 2 sewing centers, one in Dhulikhel and one in Parbat, where we train women how to sew and pay them to sew our product, our washable sanitary pads, or we encourage them also to start their own businesses. They can go off on their own as entrepreneurs and become their own bosses.
As we conclude our journey on the intricacies of reproductive health, menstrual hygiene, dating, intimacy, and self-esteem, we hope to have ignited conversations and opened doors in a more compassionate and informed world. Together, we can break the barriers of stigma and hope to foster environments of inclusivity, openness, and support. We will be back next week with a new episode. Until then, we hope you have a great week ahead. Namaste.